Welcome to Fandom Beat. This is another installment of Behind Anime Lines, and today I am joined by my buddy Ricky Sherman to talk about Redline, the 2009, 2010, something like that, Madhouse anime about goddamn race cars driving around, going real fast, and sometimes crashing into stuff and sometimes not.
Most of the time, crashing and stuff.
Usually crashing. They are generally crashing. So yeah, let's get into it. So for people who don't know what Redline is, let's give them a quick recap. It is a feature film by Madhouse about racing cars in the future? In space?
In the past future?
The future past against aliens and dog men and girls.
Lots of dogmen, actually.
Yeah, plenty of dogmen, especially in the first race. But basically it's about this guy, JP, who has like the best hair in the world.
The longest hair.
Yeah, he's known, it's about a man with the world's longest hair who decides to start racing cars. But it is basically a showpiece for fantastic Madhouse animation, like 90 minutes of kick-ass Madhouse animation. I don't know, what were your initial impressions coming out of watching this movie?
Everything was beautifully exaggerated.
Yes, yeah. It's a good way
There's
of
lots
putting
of stretched lines.
Yeah, there's a lot of great moments in this where someone speeds up really quickly and almost the field of view distorts almost, which is a crazy thing to say.
It's like there's subframes.
Yeah, right. They do some really wacky, goofy animation tricks in this. So overall, I mean, this was both of our first times watching it. What did you enjoyed it, I guess?
Yeah, I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
I started thinking about F-Zero from the start because
totally.
everything was so complicated.
Totally. The way that these cars look, even though they're not like hover cars, everyone kind of has a different car.
Yeah.
Like his is a traditional sort of four-wheeled looking like normal Trans Am vehicle, but then you've got like two dudes whose cars have legs and they're running.
Oh, yeah.
Like they'll go in the water sometimes.
One does transform into a mech too.
Yes, one guy is his car.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, there's just so much inventiveness in all the different racers, which does remind me of F-Zero, like down to the fact that some of your competitors are just straight up animals in Redline.
I think a lot of the cars are a reflection of their personalities.
Yeah, that's something that they totally nail, I feel like. And yeah, just to go back to even that, what's his name, Machine Head?
Yeah, Machine Head.
That dude whose body literally is his car, and so he's pumping himself full of nitro.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
What species is he?
He's a robot man species. But that's something that's cool about this show is it doesn't feel constrained by what would make sense. Mm-hmm. It's just
Not at all.
What's the goofiest way we could show racers racing cars in space with what if there were no rules? Because they're literally, they even say at one point, there are no rules. You can kill the other competitors just as long as you get to the finish line.
The rules are do whatever you want.
Yeah, and then as if this over-the-top million-mile-per-hour racing wasn't enough, there's also 3 or 4 B plots about the race is taking place on, what's it called, Robo-Planet?
Yeah, Robo-Planet.
Robo-Planet.
And the military doesn't want them to do that.
Yeah, they're racing on Robo-World or whatever without their permission. And so there's a war going on, and there's nuclear bombs going off, and there's Funky Boy. Funky Boy. I don't know. So did you watch it dubbed or subtitled?
I watched it in English.
Me too. And it was because a friend of mine actually said the dub for this is really, really good.
Pretty good.
And I'm kind of a skeptic usually when I hear that, but I thought that they nailed it.
It's very high quality.
Very, and the tone that they established is perfect. The way that everyone speaks feels on brand with the universe.
Yeah, there's so much banter.
Yeah.
And I don't even think they can hear each other.
Right, yeah, that's another good point. Is there are some races where the drivers are screaming at each other and it's there's no way that anyone can hear anyone.
Yeah, they're just screeching down this huge highway.
Yeah. And I mean, so these characters almost look like they're from separate animes or separate universes sometimes. And I think one of my favorite character designs that even though it looks almost completely out of place is also great is the Robo Police that show up a couple times.
Yeah.
They're like these cyborg robot lady things that just roll up anytime you're on Robo-Planet and just fuck shit up. Mm-hmm. They're awesome looking. They're I would watch a whole show about the Robo Police.
Yeah, a lot of them deserve their own show, actually.
Yes, yeah, totally. Including, what's the guy's name who's wearing he's got a mask and he's all muscles.
He kind of looks like a Yoshimitsu.
Yes, Yoshimitsu.
He's real crazy.
Yeah, and he's crying all the time.
He's
That's
always
my
crying.
dude.
He's
That's
so
me.
sad.
But he was great. I would watch a whole show about him.
Yeah, his intro was him beating up his friend.
While crying. While crying. They're just, the characters in this are unlike any characters in any other show, I think. While we're talking about characters, I think the Super Boeings, those two twin girls, awesome. Just great designs, great outfits. Great outfits overall in the show, actually.
That really locked me in. I was this show has so much personality.
And then in addition to JP, the main character, the hair guy, there's also Sonoshi, who is kind of the main female lead, almost. And there's sort of implied history there, stuff like that. But
JP won't just admit it though.
No, he won't. But Sonoshi was kind of a great character too. I thought I love her like green and pink hair.
Yeah.
It's a dope look. All her outfits were super on point. I don't know.
And her hybrid car is pretty awesome too.
Yes. I think part of what makes this movie so exhilarating to watch is the way that it communicates speed really well. Like kind of like games like F-Zero and Burnout. They communicate speed well by making you feel like you're constantly out of control. Like everything's a little shaky, you're just barely holding on, and that's what watching Redline feels like to me.
About every time JP makes a boost, he's like flying off of the ground.
Just swerve. Like every time someone drops a nitro, their car just like swerves like 90 degrees, just like
goes off the wall.
Yeah, exactly. Before finally straightening out and just launching forward, and that adds to just the sense of like, I don't know. It seems to me like speed is not the easiest thing to communicate in animation.
Or weight.
Yeah, and they do both of those things.
Even when they redid Evangelion, they redid a lot of the frames to make it seem more weighty.
Yeah.
And like the ground was breaking more and stuff like that. Like
slower and heavier.
I think people really learned how to communicate that with like stretched out frames and stuff.
Yes, there's a lot of, and I don't know how Madhouse did it exactly. I know this was this guy's directorial debut. It actually reminded me a lot of what I believe was another Madhouse production in the movie The Animatrix. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not.
There's one short in there that has a very similar art style, very like crushed blacks, like half the screen at any given time is just filled in periods of black shadow, about a sprinter who like sprints so hard he runs out of the damn matrix. But this, I think there has to be some shared DNA between these two things because it looks exactly like that, but a full-length movie. What else is there?
I really like Frisbee.
Yes,
He sacrificed a lot even though he did go to the wrong side, but he ended up, I guess.
Yeah, they let you know pretty early on that he's dabbling in that darkness.
Yeah, he's with the mob.
But I thought he'd never fuck with the anime mob. Oh, but no, Frisbee, like, I think Frisbee was my favorite, like the best cast and best acted voice in the whole thing. The guy who did Frisbee's voice completely nailed it. Great looking character. He's
very suave.
He's very
silent too.
Totally. And I liked the sort of flashback scenes where you get to see what him and JP looked like when they were younger. They did a good job of, even when it's like a weird ass alien face, you can still look at him and be like, oh, that's the younger version of his weird ass alien face. That's perfect.
They do a really good job of expressing age.
Yeah.
A lot of hard lines.
Totally. Speaking of age, there's that one dude who looks like the spider guy from Spirited Away. Like, that's all I could think while watching him.
Oh yeah, with the glasses.
Yeah, he feels very directly evocative of the guy running the furnace in that movie, but
there might be a parallel.
Maybe. So that's, I was watching it with a friend of mine and she suggested that maybe all anime takes place in one universe and he's like a direct descendant.
It's too deep.
Yeah, I love that idea though, it's a good concept. But there's just something about Redline that I really love is the degree of silliness and absurdity at all times. Like there's constantly, it's not self-serious. There's violence and death, I guess, but it never lingers on it and never lets itself get too dark.
It's very abrupt and then it's over.
Yeah, someone dies and then you're like, whoop, and it shrugs it off onto the next thing. And there's scenes where like a character going over a trip mine, but they're going so fast that they're faster than the detonator on the trip mine. Silly shit like that. I think there's one line in the show where a character yells, what is it? He's like, Mr. President, we can't let Funky Boy get carried away. He's getting out of control. And when I heard that, that was the moment I was like, all right, cool. That's what we're doing.
This is not a serious anime at all.
It's not. And to the point that I actually I found myself kind of zoning out a little bit during it. And that's not a criticism, but I was just like getting so lost in like this gorgeous over-the-top animation and explosions and stuff that I was like, I'm not even 100% sure that I need to be listening to the words or thinking about the plot to like this.
Yeah.
Just what's going on screen is enough. Like it's a visual showpiece. And I think that comes through in the fact that the last 30 to 45 minutes is just one giant amazing race. Like that's what you want out of Redline.
That was truly like a tech demo.
Yes.
But anime.
Exactly. It's such an animation flex. I adore that. I adore its single-mindedness and its purpose. I love that it's just like, you want to see some cool race cars go really fast and some weird aliens driving them and some like explosions go off, you should probably check out Redline.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Very simple entertainment.
And sometimes that's what I want out of my animes.
Yeah.
Some goofy colors.
It really reminded me of the Wacky Racers cartoon.
Oh, so
the
like
Hanna-Barbera ones.
I'm not familiar with
that.
So
it has a collection of all of the other Hanna-Barbera cartoons, like an all-star sort of thing, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think Penelope Pitstop is one of the main characters, and actually kind of reminds me of Sonoshi.
Is there a lot of
very good
vehicular combat in that?
Lots of vehicular combat, but I think it's more like shenanigans.
Okay.
So they're always doing like wacky stuff, always trying to get over one another, but I don't think they actually like go to violence.
Right. Redline is somewhere in between where it's like, it's wacky shenanigans, but it's like violent, like missiles and
Yeah.
swerving into people and wiping off the
Everybody
road.
except JP has a weapon, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so. And it's funny because it's like feels in some ways directly evocative of like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
If Mario Kart was raw as hell.
I'm JP. I won't play on items. When I
Yeah.
play online.
JP is Final Destination, one car only.
He doesn't play for fun.
No, he does not.
He plays for glory.
He plays for.
But he
glory.
needs to stop cheating.
He does need to stop cheating. He's using those smash balls, putting it in his nitro thing and turning it on and trying to win some races that way.
Yeah, everyone has like a good bit of depth in them, even though they don't have that much screen time.
Yeah. I love that there's that news program that we get to see a bunch of that like gives you character bios on each of the racers.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very efficient way of just being like, hey, one of the racers is a cop, and then the other racers are perps that were chased by this cop, and all three of them are racing together. Like, that's awesome. Everything was like, it feels like some really creative people got in a room together and wrote down like, all right, if we could make a cast of racers and all of them were as over the top and goofy and silly as
Yeah.
possible, what would we make? Cop, perp, 2 anime girls, dude with a pompadour, like,
Dude in love with the girl.
yeah.
The girl.
Yes, crying robot man who is his own car. There you go. That's a good cast.
That's pretty good.
Very strong cast. Would you ever want to see a sequel to Redline?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I might send an email and ask
Yeah.
if that's like even down the line.
Yeah, dear
I don't know who to
Madhouse.
ask.
Just
Dear Madhouse, are
Madhouse-
you making Redline too?
madhouse.com.
Please.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's room for a sequel, right?
Yeah. No, they dropped it off like right before there was supposed to be more races.
Yeah, that's true. And like they allude at multiple points in it to other races besides the red line.
Yeah.
Like the yellow
line.
and stuff
Maybe
like
there's a
that.
blue line.
I'd watch a prequel or a sequel
Yeah.
or whatever. I'm just down for
I
more.
want to see little JP grow up.
Yeah. On the one hand, I want to see him make more Redline. On the other hand, I want to see what other crazy ideas they have
Yeah.
at Madhouse when they create a completely original IP and just like put it out there and just like, here's the thing we made.
Yeah, Redline came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it did. And everyone was talking about it when it first came out in 2010, and I'm glad that we finally watched it, I guess.
4 years later.
We did it. So that's what we thought of Redline. Let us know what you thought of the movie in the comments below. We'll be hanging out in there, taking your suggestions and talking about the movie. And if you want more anime about sports, there is plenty of that on Crunchyroll.com. You were telling me about some sort of tennis anime that is not
Oh, yeah.
Prince of Tennis that they have on
Baby
Crunchyroll?
Steps.
Baby Steps.
So good.
I've never heard of this.
The main character is very hardworking.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good sports anime
He's a good guy.
protagonist. But yeah, Baby Steps is up on there. They've got free Iwatobi Swim Club. They've got Ping Pong the animation. Just sports all day.
I have
Sports all-
Slam Dunk too.
They have Slam Dunk. They have all the sports anime that you.
They wear Jordans in Slam Dunk.
They do?
Yeah.
Is that licensed?
I don't know, but they're really detailed.
Ooh, damn. You just sold me on Slam Dunk. Anyways, yeah, crunchyroll.com/fandombeat. You will get a 14-day free premium membership, which means you can watch all these shows for free, no commercial interruptions in 1080p. Definitely check it out. It helps support our show. And speaking of our show and supporting it, if you like this show, please subscribe. We've got all sorts of stuff on this channel besides anime. We've got anime watch-alongs where we just sit there and watch anime with you guys. We've got a show about K-pop hosted by our friend Adam. We've got Katie's Pony Show. So yeah, feel free to subscribe and support us, and we'll keep making anime shows.